Okay. So Timmy queued us up for this, and Dennis is ready for it. Let's go straight into digital strategies. All right. So what does this mean? I don't know. It means like, how are you selling on the internet now? Like your customers are on the internet, right? We know that. So you got to be there too. So how do you sell on the internet? How did you sell on the internet up until this crisis? And what, if anything, is changing after the crisis? Let's go in reverse. Let's start with Timmy.
So before the crisis, eBay was the side money. What was once alternative income has now become the main income. The live sales, the social media deals, that was all 25% of my bandwidth. Well, now it's 100% because I can't let people through my doors. Social media, I kill at. Arsenal on social media, I want, show me someone who can match me. Like I would love to, and because I want to see better than me.
I can tell from the 39 eyeballs on us right now that something happened, man. There's 40 people right now tuned in.
So social media for me, as a teenager in high school with Instagram booming, I turned doing nothing on the internet and sharing dumb memes with my friends, and now a big part of my career. And social media for me was a tool to get people through my door, to browse, to come inside and browse the wall, just be part of events, chill at the shop, enjoy comics. Well, now I can't do that. So now I've completely turned my tool of social media into getting sales from my customers and shipping them product or initiating curbside or making the deals or whatever. And now eBay has transitioned to that as well. eBay is now full force. All my part-timers, my managers, it's all eBay right now. We're not dealing with curbside or, mail order for our customers through our website. eBay is where it's at right now. It's keeping me alive.
Okay. Hey, Mike, tell me digitally what you were doing and what you might do differently. What you might think about doing differently now.
Me?
Yeah, digitally. Okay. Tell me what Eureka Books did and what you think they would do next.
What I did, I should say, because I was the only guy who handled comics in the shop, was any comic that was priced above a certain threshold, I would consider putting online. And usually if it was the store price in the $6 to $8 range, that was kind of the low end of what I would do. Most of the stuff that I would sell online, the store price was probably in the $10 to $20 range. But I had enough regular stock coming in that I didn't need to try to squeeze every last penny out of them. It was much easier to just sell it and reinvest it in the next collection that would come in the door. So
because comics were really just one section of a much larger used bookstore that also carried some new book product as well, as I remember.
Right, and the comic section had a very extensive graphic novel section as well, but almost all of it was used. There was a very small new books budget that I was given, but I tried to make the most of it. But getting back to the comics, what I would always do is I would always price the online price at give or take 20% above what I thought I could sell it in the store. I tried to be competitive with whatever the pricing I was seeing online was. But the important bit was it wasn't just eBay. I actually did most of my sales on Amazon. Their back issue prices are crazy for the most part. So people seeing I had the lower end of it. Exactly, Dennis. So people would see that I'd be on the higher end of other websites, but on the lower end of Amazon, and that was really that sweet spot that worked really well for me. So
you use trade paperbacks too on Amazon is a humongous market, man. That saved my store in 2008 in the financial crisis.
Yeah, absolutely. It really makes a difference, and the add-on from online sales cannot be disregarded in this market, I don't think.
Okay. Thanks. So Leaf. Digital, what do you do? You do something. You sell something online. What do you sell?
Well, I've been using Comic Hub for about 2 years now, and that's been pretty helpful in just sort of managing pull lists. I'm switching over to, doing more payments online. What I'm hearing from customers is they don't necessarily want to be doing transactions in the store. The kind of eBay business, though, is never going to be something that can be my focus in San Francisco. Real estate and labor are too expensive. It's just not something that's feasible.
So I think that's a pretty legit thing, is that different markets have a lot of different factors. And if you know anything about San Francisco, you know the rents are up here and the minimum wage is up here and only getting higher. We could debate if that's a good or a bad thing, but there's no doubt it makes it harder to make a living selling comics at retail price over the counter, right? So Dennis, what's your digital? Where are you? Are you multi-channel or what? Where are you selling the most digitally?
I want to boil it down for you. When I opened my store 15 years ago, I had a goal set in my head that I wanted to move as much out the back door as I was moving out the front door. At a certain point, our store hit up into the low six figures. And at a certain point right after that, I dedicated more time to online, and I hit a point of parity around 2015. And that's when I said to myself, okay, now what am I making on the online, and what am I spending for the in-store to get there? And I was spending 80% of my money to stock 50% of my store, and I was spending 20% of my money to keep 50% of my income out the back door open. And that's when I started going, okay, I can start bringing that the other direction, which led me finally to the decision in January to stop new comics. And it wasn't for any other reason than I kind of looked at it as musical chairs. I reached a point and I was like, okay, I'm seeing a lot of the music. I'm hearing stuff come out of Comics Pro. I'm hearing the music play, and I'm seeing how many chairs there are, but I'm not for sure there's going to be one for everybody when that music stops. And I said, I'm going to pick a chair right now. I can't. And, I know everybody here's a big Diamond supporter. I was going tooth and nail with Diamond about boxes, about credit, about, just the general lack of respect sometimes, etc.
Well, it's funny that you say that, Dennis, because maybe you can address a question. I heard a little bird told me, and I don't know if this is true. Were you forcibly removed from a retailer summit for assaulting a Diamond employee?
No, that is absolute 100% bullshit. That's absolute bullshit. No, Roger Fletcher and I, see, this is how the knitting circle gets going. Roger Fletcher and I, on the last day of the summit, an hour or two before the end of the summit, went off to the side. Roger threw a couple things in my face, and I threw a couple things back at him, not verbal or not physically, but verbally, and it got into a heated conversation. At one point, they almost removed, I can't remember the jackass's name, but the Comics Pro president called me an asshole and wanted to take it outside, and they almost removed him because I was willing to take it outside. I did assault a retailer one time, but he earned that.
Once? I've wanted to many times. Jimmy, jump in. What do you got on that?
Well, believe it or not, actually, before that conversation started, I just wanted to take my hat off and say what you were talking about with Leaf in San Francisco. I don't know how you do it, Leaf, and I always highly take my hat off and respect you for the minimum, with what you do up there. And then Dennis, I wanted to say, I see what he does online. He hustles on Amazon, and I see what he does for his kids and, being an awesome father. So I just wanted to take my hat off to him and
okay. And now hit him with the 1-2 punch, Timmy, though.
Oh no, I just wanted to get that in there real quick.
Oh, I thought that was a setup for a major takedown, man.
No.
I thought you had like cell phone video of Dennis socking somebody.
No, I just wanted to get that in there before we started the drama, because
no drama. And so, Dennis, you're just here to say no. You never assaulted anybody. You some heated words.
I absolutely have never. No, I assaulted one guy in Baltimore like 10 years ago, but he had it coming because he started some shit with me in Vegas, and then started it immediately when Baltimore the next year started. And I said, "Look, if you don't shut your mouth this weekend, I'm going to knock you on your ass." Then he called me a fat ass right to my face. So I stepped on his feet. I pushed him in his chest. He fell on his ass, and I said, "Stay there, or I'll put you on your ass again."
Okay. All right, Dennis. When did you stop? When did you stop beating your wife? I'm just kidding.
I'll admit when I kick her.
I'm just kidding.
Just because a guy sells comic doesn't mean he can't kick a little ass.
You're right, Dennis. I can attest to that because I've seen other guys do it. All right, guys.
Yeah. Actually, there's
Mike. Go ahead.
Well, that actually leads me to a question. Have any of you guys had to physically remove anyone from your stores? Because I have.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Leaf has got to be like, do you mean in the last 10 minutes? Or do you mean in the last, today? Or do you mean for sure?
The last altercation I had was we have it's really sad. We have a 7-foot tall homeless guy who looks like Jon Favreau, but like on steroids, and he's threatened to kill all of us. And after it happened, I went to my dad's surplus store, and you know that scene in Force Awakens where they're like traitor, and he pulls it out. And it's like the baton thing. Well, next time angry Jon Favreau came in. And I was like, dude, please go away. Please go away. And then he was spouting, he goes, I'm going to kill you again. I pull out my baton, give it a taste. I go, are you going to kill me? Are you? Is that really what's going to happen? And then just, I don't like to no thanks.
I had once, I was working in my store and early in the morning, and it was before we opened, but my door was somewhat open, but the close sign was on, and I'm putting books on the shelves. And a lady comes in. And a lady comes in and says, just starts walking in. I said, hey, I'm sorry, we're not open, but if you want to browse the store a little bit, I don't mind, and I'll help you in just a second. And she does a dead stop, and she goes, what, do you hate Americans or something? Right? So, like, dude, the American born and bred patriot and dude who's taken a lot of stuff over the years and terrorist jokes and everything else, wanted to punch her real bad and wanted to throw her out physically. But you know what I did? I said, no, ma'am, I love Americans. I am one myself. Can I help you find some comics? Right. And and it worked. We turned it around, and she's a great customer. And that may or may not be what really happened. Well, I'll tell you.
I was waiting for you to say, and I married that woman.